Hello, it's Lauren, and this is my journal. I technically have two, but you will see. So this is the first one. It's called Dance Down, as you can see. And then let's take a peek inside. Whoa, shit! Oh, fuck! Oh, it's going fast. I didn't see a damn thing. That's okay. We have another one. Hopefully this one will go a little bit slower. Oh, fuck, oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit. Man, that went pretty fast. Oh no. And as you could tell, I think there was a lot of garbage in there, a lot of doodles. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to rip out the important bits, and then we're going to show them here. So first, I'm going to show the very first ideas for my project OV. I was originally thinking I would do something with plasticine, which is what these little blobbies at the top are, or maybe a big rain cloud, and the dancer would walk next to the screen. It'd be raining on him. I wasn't too sure. This was before our groups were even made, and they were just me writing down some ideas. And this is from that first exercise where people went around the room and we had to come up with movement tasks that they would do. And I had the idea to do sort of a charcoal kind of cascading down on the dancer, because I had known I wanted to do that sort of black charcoal under camera animation that took up the whole screen that I did for the start when Yannick walks on stage with the little glowing circle. And then the other movement task, number 2, was to just imagine that there is an animated figure kind of behind the performer that is copying their movement, and how would that make them feel. Both of these really did end up being pretty important to what I ended up doing. The first being, what kind of texture does that charcoal give you, and the second being like, what is the feeling that like the performer would have with this sort of mirroring happening. Next here, I sketched this out in class, and as you can see in the middle area, there are these different shapes that look like they're kind of moving if you read them left to right. This was my idea for the V loop that I would use. I used 2 loops, the circle one and then the V one that could kind of transform into a circle. Little fish / big fish, if you will. We were talking about Susanna's performance. That is what the drawing of the piano is referencing. But yeah, this is kind of cool because this sketch ended up actually being the loop that I used for the V. So, oh shit, and would you look at that? There it is. So I still kept these frames, as you can see. I didn't keep the frames from the circle animation, unfortunately, because I made them on very large pieces of paper, and then I realized, oh boy, I could save a lot of time if I made them on very small pieces of paper. So I still have these. And some orange as well. Again, I didn't keep the charcoal, but I kept the orange. This was for the scene at the end, and it was very helpful to serve as a really big environment shift to go with the song when it had a big shift at the end, and thereby to also inspire a big movement shift. This is the first storyboard I made. So I planned out this performance as I know how to plan out things, which is via a storyboard, which is how you plan out animation. And as you can see, the beginning is pretty accurate with the circle moving on stage, and then the circles going diagonally and then going flat. I ended up doing a different composition for the V formations, but yeah, I didn't use all of these ideas, but they were definitely a starting place, and they had obvious influence on what ended up being the final work. This is more sort of storyboard. This is for the very, very beginning. And yeah, it's there's a lot of time codes because I had to time the animation with the music, and thereby the little, sporadic kind of movements that I made Sweet Yannick do as well. I was also experimenting with how I want the circle motif to kind of be reflected in the body. I was thinking kind of right shoulder, left hip. That ended up changing just a little bit because I did the thing we weren't supposed to do, and I choreographed onto my body, And then I'm like, Yannick, circle your hips while circling your shoulder in the opposite direction. And I don't think that's necessarily how his body moves naturally, so we ended up changing it a little bit, which of course worked even better in the end. This is some more just general ideas with some time codes and some movement ideas to go with some visuals. Just very visual planning for me. Same with this. This was for my first solo rehearsal idea building moment in the studio where I was coming up with some movements after I had the beginning animation. This is also a bit more planning. Oh, and now it's gone. Here are the 2 mind maps that we made in class. If you're interested, you could pause and look at them, but I don't really think I need to talk about them too much. And then this here is some notes from my dramaturgy-ing with Natina. I was her dramaturge, and a lot of what we talked about in our first session was the different imageries and motifs that she wanted to work with, and so I made a lot of visuals based off of what she was saying, and then we talked about how that could be interpreted in movement. And this is from our second meeting, where she had brought up what she was having a hard time with and wanted help with, and it was to take all of her different images and motifs that her and Celine had been making movement from, and making them into an actual linear performance. She was having a very hard time figuring out how to place everything, and so I helped her out with that, and looking at the sort of swells and just lines of the song and pinpointing where you want what to happen in it, and she found that very helpful, which is nice. Okay, that's all I got for you. Thank you very much. As I have told everybody, I've loved this class and I've loved everyone in it. So thank you to everyone who might be hearing this. You're all very cool and great artists, and I've learned a lot. So thank you very much.